Coming up on Takedown with Chris Hansen, he's intent upon seeing this thing through.
Yes.
In Livingston Parish, Louisiana, it's an arrest days in the making.
He's the target, not us.
The predator is the prey.
That's right.
A man so sinister, so cunning, it sends chills through everyone on the investigation. He thinks he's going to fulfill his fantasy.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, master.
And in the end, I come face to face with the master. I hope you're enjoying this free full episode of Takedown on our YouTube channel. But there's something you need to know. There are literally hundreds of new episodes either in production or on our streaming channel right now, uncensored, all on WatchTruBlu.com. Use the code YouTube26 to watch all of the episodes for $2.50, or for an annual subscription, use YouTube Year for $20 off. Also, and this is very important, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you on TruBlu. About a week before I arrived in Livingston Parish for the latest child predator investigation, a sheriff's office detective began chatting online with a man going by the name Jimmy. But we learned that he's in fact 34-year-old Christian of Harvey, Louisiana, just outside of New Orleans. The detective was posing as a 14-year-old girl, and Jimmy asked her if she ever considered herself a slave. The detective, posing as the girl, asks if she's too young. Christian tells the girl she'll be his property and that she will need to be trained, but he has no problem with her age. The detective asks how the girl will be trained. Christian says there will be rules and that if she doesn't follow them, she'll be punished, and that from now on, she must address him as master. For days, the text messages back and forth get more graphic and disturbing. The detective reminds Christian that the girl is only 14, but that doesn't stop him, and he goes so far as to tell her he's buying a collar for her, like a dog collar. He tells her he won't have to choke her if she follows the rules, and that he's going to take her virginity and stomp it into the ground. Christian, aka the master, makes a plan to meet the girl in person, but Sheriff Jason Ard has plans of his own. Sheriff, this fella has talked online for days now, being a master to this 14-year-old girl, being his slave. What's the status of this guy now?
So we've been working this little thing pretty hard, and so what we're looking at now is he's actually sending a Uber over here to pick her up.
So he's checked into a nearby hotel.
Checked into a nearby hotel, sending an Uber here to pick her up to bring her back to him at this hotel room.
Right, and so what is our plan at this point?
So right now we're actually going to make sure with the hotel room that he actually is checked in, identify him, and then we're gonna, once the Uber driver gets here, we'll probably have a little conversation with him, and then we'll go from there. So he may have somebody Uber to him, but it ain't gonna be what he expects.
Okay, we shall see.
Yes.
Sheriff Ard, his team, and I make a plan for when the Uber driver arrives to pick up the underage girl. How far is the hotel from here?
Right there, about like 3 minutes, maybe 2 minutes.
2 minutes away. So the hotel is 2 minutes away. So we're going to know very shortly if, in fact, he is at the hotel.
Right, yeah, we're getting a manifest from the front office.
We should know that before the Uber driver gets here. And once the Uber driver gets here, then we can do what we need to do.
We can talk to the Uber driver and enlist him to be a part of the
She can
investigation.
order the Uber. We can go through it. Me and put give his name to it too, and she has his number too. So it's all going to put them all together.
Right.
Wherever he's at.
Got it. And so then the choice is: do you still try to get him to come here, or do we go visit him there?
Come on. So I like the plan of possibly trying to cancel the Uber driver
Yes.
because
I'm gonna look up
she's
the terms.
underage, she can't ride. That may help us out a little bit.
But the fact that he has relocated from where he lives to this hotel, which is minutes from our sting location, and the fact that he's sending an Uber driver, that shows that he's intent upon seeing this thing through.
Without a doubt, which is really a little nerve-wracking about the whole deal. I mean, he's thought this thing through. I mean, he really thought this thing.
He's put a lot of time and planning
Yes.
and effort into this.
Yes.
But he's talking about all this master-slave stuff too, which is disturbing when you think about the target of his desire is a 14-year-old girl. It's grooming. It's serious grooming.
It is. It's sickening, but it.
I mean, he's talking about dog
Basically-
collars and calling him master and all the other details that we know.
These are the type of people that we're here for.
Right.
Get off the street because they are beyond dangerous, if you ask me. You know, it's just.
And targeting our most vulnerable.
Oh yeah. He just don't understand this morning. He's the target, not us.
The predator is the prey.
That's right.
But it is kind of scary. He's got this that much mapped out and that planned out.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's concerning, right?
Yes, this is. I mean, he's got it all planned out.
Yes. And he gave minimum information.
Being very cautious.
Yes.
You think he's got any idea what's on the other end of these chats?
Not at all.
He thinks he's going to fulfill his fantasy.
We should be here in a minute.
Probably in the office, we can go down and
Talk with him.
talk with him and see when we can get him to come up here. Would be ideal if we could get the driver to come up here.
The Uber driver shows up on time and calls the number provided. It's answered by the decoy.
What's an answer? Shh. Answer it, Zipline. Your name is Snow.
Hello?
Hello.
Yes.
It's in the back apartments.
You said the back apartment.
Yes.
Okay, that's where I'm at right now. Do you have a specific number?
Go
Like
behind.
a door
You,
number?
you have to go
I'm
behind.
right on the front end where the gate's at.
You have to go behind that.
Okay.
The detectives head outside to talk to the driver to gather more information on the man who booked the car service. The driver then comes into the Sting house to talk further with Sheriff Ard and me, and she gives us some troubling information.
So we're going to try to get her to make a phone call
Got it.
to him, and basically we can't pick up minors, that kind of stuff.
Right.
However, he's wanting her to bring the kid back to Harvey.
Which is near New Orleans,
Yes.
Past Metairie.
past Metairie.
Yeah.
So he was not, in fact, going to bring her to the nearby hotel. He wanted her, the girl, being her, to go into the Uber and go back to his house, which
Correct.
was closer to New Orleans. How was it? 45 minutes from here?
No, it's about an hour. I GPS an hour and 26.
Hour and 26 minutes. So he wanted to put her in an Uber and travel her an hour and 26 minutes
Yes.
to bring his slave to the master.
Pretty much.
The driver then makes a call to Christian.
Hello, Christian.
Hey, Christian.
Yeah.
Hey, I just spoke with you not that long ago. Look, I won't be able to pick up an underage minor and bring them that far out.
Oh, okay. No problem then.
Alrighty.
Thank you.
Okay. He just canceled.
So he canceled,
He just canceled. Yeah.
and we heard what he said. He sounded pretty casual about it
Yeah.
all. But the fact that he was trying to bring her an hour away,
It's scary.
it's very
It's-
frightening,
yeah,
especially
it is.
given, I mean, it's frightening no matter what, but given the
Right.
scenario, the master, the slave, the whole thing.
And he's thought this thing out so much. I mean, look at what he's done. And I'm gonna be at this hotel room.
That was a lie.
Right. And look, he's been very upfront about, I'm the master. I'm gonna do this. You're gonna do that. And so now has an Uber driver coming over here to pick up this young lady.
And
actually
wants her to
kid.
think that she's going just a few minutes
Right.
away to a
And
hotel,
so
but
when
he's
she
going to
gets
drag
in-
her an
He
hour
was gonna
plus
get in the
away
car. She was gonna turn around and have to bring her all the way to Harvey.
if he was going to bring her back.
He wasn't gonna bring her back.
He was going to hold
Tell
her
him.
captive.
To me, he's been lying the whole time about everything, and he's trying to basically get her where he's comfortable.
What do you think would have happened to this 14-year-old girl had she
I
gotten
don't
in the Uber and traveled over to his house an hour
It's-
plus
it's-
away?
It's very frightening to even think about what would have happened. This is scary. These are people out here preying on our children. This guy right here.
Hold her captive.
Yes. So
This is
but it-
far from over.
far from over.
Yeah. And it was very far from over, because 30 minutes later, the master reaches out again. So bring me up to speed here. He has now continued the conversation with the decoy posing as the 14-year-old girl.
Yes.
And he's sending another Uber?
He wondered why or how the Uber knew I was underage, and I told him I got scared and told her because I know she'd want to check my ID or something. And he got kind of mad. I asked him why he wanted me to go to New Orleans. He said, because I'm not coming anywhere near your house, and you're not going anywhere near my house or my car. And kind of went from there. He said, I don't really trust you, but then sends me another Uber.
So what do you think his plan is now?
Maybe me not telling my age. You don't want me to tell the age, but I'm gonna make something up with this new Uber driver.
Right. So now you got to go through the whole investigative process again with the Uber driver.
Yeah. And tell him, hey, I'm gonna try to get him to say, hey, this is your kid. You know, we gotta get an ID, something.
So you're going to bring the driver up here, have
Do one more time.
driver call master.
Yes.
But what does this guy think is going to happen? I mean, the girl didn't get in the car the first time.
He's hoping I don't say my age or I'm underage this time, but we'll just play it up as to she sees how young I look and asks for an ID.
But he is persistent.
Very persistent, yes, he is.
The master sends another Uber to pick up the underage girl, but the sheriff's office has a ruse of its own. The decoy makes a call to the master.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah?
They're not here anywhere. Hello?
Yeah, I hear ya.
They're not here.
Okay,
What if they ask for my age?
tell them your 18.
What if they don't believe me?
Then, too bad.
What is that supposed to mean?
It means what it means. He's not supposed to ask you that.
Okay.
Do you walk to the corner? Your corner where you are?
I'm at the corner. I think I see him. Hold on. He's not here.
Walter, where are you? Where exactly are you?
I'm outside.
Alright, what is the name of the block you're on?
The block?
Yeah.
There's not a name for the block.
Well, go to Aspen.
I'm on Aspen.
I just asked you that.
No, you said the block. Not the road.
Yeah. What?
Nothing.
What kind of phone do you have?
An Android? What kind of phone do you have?
Apple.
I'm gonna go back inside before somebody sees me just walking around.
No, stay outside and look for the driver.
I've been looking for the driver. I don't see them.
Well, keep looking.
I can only look so long.
You'll look for as long as I tell you to.
Yes, master. I don't see him.
Are you in front of your apartment?
Yes.
Go out to the front of the building.
I am. I'm gonna call you right back.
Okay.
Christian does not give up easily. He sends a total of 4 Ubers to pick up the 14-year-old girl and bring her to his apartment near New Orleans. A warrant is issued for his arrest, and another sheriff's office picks him up and puts him in custody. Following his arrest and booking, Christian agrees to speak with me at the sheriff's office. What you'll see next is the full conversation between myself and the self-proclaimed master. Hey, Christian, how you doing?
Good afternoon.
How's it going today?
I'm alright.
Yeah, you had kind of a rough day yesterday, huh?
I sure did.
What happened?
I was attacked in front of my apartment.
You were attacked?
Mm-hmm.
And who attacked you?
I would love to know.
Yeah. Well, what can you tell me about it all?
What can I tell you? It's not right. Okay? I don't know what's going on. I'd never committed any kind of...
What were you doing when they all came up on you?
Walking into my apartment.
And you were just on your way in?
Yes, literally into my apartment.
Right. And did they say anything?
No, they didn't. They asked me... Okay, they asked me my name.
Right.
And then they attacked me.
And that's it.
That's it.
And they brought you to the parish jail.
Well, after I ran,
You ran?
yeah,
How come you ran?
because I don't know why they would be hitting me.
Right. Did you know they're law enforcement?
I could guess that they were law
Right.
enforcement.
And could you think of any
But-
reason why law enforcement would be after you, Christian?
I don't know.
No clue whatsoever.
I don't know.
Did you do anything wrong?
No, I haven't.
Nothing at all?
I don't think so.
Are you sure?
Well, yeah.
Did you go online and do anything or say anything that might have brought you to the attention of law enforcement here?
I don't know.
You don't know, or you don't want to say it?
Well, I was told that I would be given advice from a lawyer before I
Right.
spoke to anybody about
Got it.
what happened,
Right.
why I'm being charged. I don't know what I'm being charged with,
Okay.
and I don't want to speak on it without speaking to a lawyer.
Right. Well, I'm not with law enforcement.
I understand that.
Okay. So I just have some questions to try to understand what happened yesterday, Christian. But it appears that you engaged in an online conversation with a girl named Lauren who said she was 14 years old. And in this conversation, you talked graphically about you being her master and her being your slave. Does that sound at all familiar to you?
I speak to a lot of people online.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing illegal about BDSM,
Right.
and whatever age she says she is,
Mm-hmm.
what age did I say I was?
Well, we know you're 34, right?
You know that,
Right. And you know that,
and I know that.
right? And what did you tell the girl?
I don't know.
Okay. I'm 14, she says. Okay, send a pic then. You talk about her being your potential slave. Have you ever considered yourself a slave? You will be my property. You will need to be trained, but I don't see why not. What did you mean by training her?
Basically, in the bedroom, how two people speak to each other and act around each other.
Well, there will be rules that you must follow, and if you don't, you will be punished.
Right.
How else are you expected to learn pain? We'll teach you obedience. Your obedience is my pleasure is your pleasure, you say. You can start by addressing me as master every time you speak to me. I expect this from you. Where does this come from? How did you get into this?
I don't know where it comes from, but it's what I like to do,
It's what you like to do.
and I don't force anybody to do it.
How many slaves have you had?
I don't really know.
You don't know.
No. At least one.
At least one. And how long was this woman?
Yes, a woman.
How long was she your slave?
Maybe a month,
A month.
maybe.
And what did she do for you as your slave?
Like I just mentioned before, we'd talk and we'd play in the bedroom, master, slave, kind of relationship. We would do things sexually, of course, but, nobody got hurt.
You say, so I'm sure you will forget plenty, but if I was in person, I would have slapped you across the face. It's all right from the moment on. If you forget, you will receive a slap. When I see you, you will be given your punishment. Just wait for me to call you to serve. You talk about physically harming a 14-year-old girl if she does not serve you
I don't know.
physically and sexually.
I don't know if she's 14, and
She told you she's 14. Why would you believe anything else?
Why wouldn't I? Why would a 14-year-old
Because
person
she told you.
talk to me like that?
It seems like you're grooming a 14-year-old child into your bizarre fantasy of violence and sexual exploitation. That's what it sounds like.
It sounds like I'm talking to a person that has their own fantasy and wants to play with my fantasy.
But she's 14, Christian.
How do I know that?
She told you. Why
But
would you
how
even
do I know?
why would you take the chance is my point. You know that having this conversation with somebody who's 14 would be illegal, correct? You know it's wrong.
Yes, I do know that.
Okay, you know it's wrong.
Yes.
And you know it's against the law.
Yes.
So why take that chance is my question.
I guess the chance never really felt like it was being taken because I had already understood that this was the person that wanted a fantasy. I also wanted a fantasy, so we would play together.
You will serve me in person, and I'll teach you how to worship your master properly with your mouth, your body, any way I tell you. Your mouth. I'll teach you long, slow licks all around and kissed all over until I decide to use you in any one of your 3 holes.
Mm-hmm.
Is that any way to address a 14-year-old girl?
Well, no, but
Well, no, then why did you do it?
I didn't.
You
I
said
have
you were...
no idea if this person is 14.
She told you.
What age did I tell her I was?
Not underage.
Okay, so I'm 17.
No, you're not. You're 34.
And how old is she?
14.
Well, how is it that you can believe her, but you don't believe me?
Because I'm looking at you and I can see you're 34 and I'm reading your transcripts and they're creepy AF.
Okay.
And they're illegal.
Okay, they're creepy, so?
They're exploitive and it's illegal what you're saying here.
They're creepy, but...
And it's illegal. More important, it's illegal. I'm not here to make a moral judgment. I'm here to make sense of you breaking the law by talking about abusing.
Well, no, it's not breaking the law.
It is breaking the law.
If I don't
There's a reason why
know,
you're wearing an orange suit and wearing those bracelets on your hand.
If I don't know who I'm talking to. You said you're looking at me, you've seen pictures of me.
Right.
I've seen her.
Yeah.
I've seen pictures of her.
Yeah,
she didn't look 14 to me.
Well.
And so now it's okay for you to believe her whenever she says whatever age, but not believe me when I say when I'm whatever age I am. And I don't think that's right.
Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is inspect you. First, clothed to make sure you are clean, undamaged. Second, I will inspect you naked and you will undress in front of me while I inspect you. I'll be asking you questions about who you are and what you will be doing. If you are dirty, unkempt, or answer me wrong, you will feel pain. That's harming a person. That's assault. That's battery. So I'll be checking your teeth, nails, scars. If you have any underarm, panties, no hair except for on your head, no holes in your socks, you will be treated as properly. Understand?
Assault and battery is against a person who is unwilling.
Once we finish inspection, I will
when
shower.
When a person is willing
you will be responsible
to play
for
with
cleaning
those
me,
holes,
however good a job you do.
It doesn't matter if it's creepy to you. It matters.
It doesn't matter what I think. It matters whether or not you've broken the law. And all of this takes place.
You haven't explained to me how she is 14. Where's her ID?
She told you she was 14.
Okay, where's her ID?
Next, it's your actual opportunity to earn your master's cock. You earn it with worship and obedience. You are expected to kiss and lick every part of your master from foot to head. Do women really fall for this?
Some.
Some?
Not every woman, of course. I could turn down, whatever.
So you just keep throwing this out there until somebody picks up on it and wants to be your slave.
I mean, we're, what, 16 pages in already?
You want to earn my penis, don't you?
The game is already plain play.
Is this common online?
I don't know.
How did you get into this?
I really don't know.
Did you just wake up one morning and say, I want to make women my slaves? Make them worship my cock? Where does this come from?
Maybe. if that's how I was feeling one morning and that's what I decided I liked.
Did you read a book? Did you see a movie? Did you just come up with this in your own mind, Christian?
Maybe a bit of all three. I don't know.
All three. But you've met women who've become your slaves.
Yes, for a little while.
For a little while. And then what happens to them?
And then they move on. They find a different fantasy. We break up. Whatever. We just go our separate ways.
Do you have a girlfriend?
I don't feel like answering that.
So you live with your girlfriend? I already know who it is, so you can just tell me.
Well, then no.
You don't have a girlfriend.
I won't answer.
You won't answer. Does your girlfriend take part in this fantasy?
No.
Tomorrow I will be giving you a new name, and I've got a collar picked out for you already. Did you buy a collar for this girl, like a dog collar?
I actually already had the collar, but yeah, I bought one.
You bought one, and
But
you were going to give it to this girl.
Mm-hmm.
If you keep up your foolishness, I'll embarrass you and call you nasty names. You have this conversation, Christian.
Mm-hmm.
You live near New Orleans, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Or did. The girl lived closer to Baton Rouge.
Right.
You talked about coming over there, but you never came over there.
Right.
But you sent an Uber to go pick her up.
Mm-hmm.
What was the purpose of that?
It would be easier for me.
It would be easier for you.
Yeah.
And what happened when you sent the first Uber over to pick her up?
I was rejected.
You were rejected. And why were you rejected?
They said that she was too young to travel.
Okay. So what should that have told you at that point? The Uber driver informed you that the girl was too young to travel alone at distance.
Mm-hmm.
What did you make of that?
I thought she was just being annoying.
Annoying.
Kind of trying to get me to go to her instead of her coming to me.
But this was the Uber driver who told you this, correct?
Right.
Not the girl.
Right.
So you had an independent person who has no skin in the game, who's going to get paid either way, tell you that she can't transport this child because of her age.
Mm-hmm.
This child whom you want to participate in this fantasy of yours, this master-slave fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, don't you think, well, maybe it's a kid and I should stop this?
I suppose what went through my head was, she told her she was 14 and the girl felt uncomfortable. So I thought I'd give it another try. I said, maybe she just fucking around her.
Right.
Messing around, sorry. I don't know if you allow cursing on the show.
But you were told by somebody who had no interest in either party, except for the good of a child, that she was 14, that she was too young to be transported by Uber.
Right.
So you knew this. What do you do after that?
I guess I sent another one, right?
Another Uber.
I was actually done after the first one, but she kept on egging me on.
She egged you on.
You got the paper. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong.
You're wrong. I've got the paper.
You sure do.
You keep going on and on and on. You send a second Uber.
I do send a second Uber.
And that Uber driver doesn't work out.
Right.
Okay.
She can't find that one.
And then what happens after that?
The third one.
A third Uber. And what happens with that Uber?
She leaves.
She leaves, okay.
But
and then what do you do?
A fourth Uber?
A fourth Uber. And what happens with that Uber?
I'm thinking, she's playing games. She's playing the role really well. She's trying to get me frustrated so that when she gets here, I do send the fifth. I think that's the last Uber, right?
The fifth Uber.
And they tell me, hey, she's too young. And then I say, you know what? I'm done. You've taken it too far.
I'm sure I told you already, but you must mean besides taking your virginity and stomping it into the dirt. So you want to take her virginity and stomp it into the dirt. What do you mean by that?
What is that?
Your words.
I know it's my words, but like,
What does it mean?
it's the game. What does it mean?
Your game got you into big trouble, didn't it, Christian?
I suppose so, but like I said, I had no idea.
I will start with assaulting your mouth. You will gag and drool all over yourself. It's my dick. I'm going to shove it down your throat. Did you send pictures of your penis?
I don't think I did.
You sure?
I don't think I did.
You don't think you did. But you tell her you're going to jam it down her throat till she gags and drools. Is that any way to talk to a 14-year-old girl?
If I had any actual idea that she was 14, maybe I wouldn't have.
Christian, why fuss around with it if somebody tells you they're 14? Why even go down that road and take that chance? That's the question. And the answer to me is that you got off on the fact that you're going to have a 14-year-old girl as your slave, and you would be the master. That's what this looks like.
Well, no. What part
What do you
of
mean,
her,
no?
What part of her being 14 has anything to do with?
Well, you know she's 14 because she told you she's 14, and you continue on with this. You send 4 or 5 Ubers to drag the girl to you,
And
more than an hour away.
And she's not the
You
first.
don't see anything wrong with that?
She's not the first girl I've dragged across the town, and like being 14 is not the thing that has attracted me to her. That was her thing.
But that's the thing that landed you here in that orange jumpsuit with handcuffs on.
That was her. That was her making up her own.
Don't blame her, Christian. Take
Why not?
responsibility for what you.
Well, how old is she then?
She told you she's 14.
But how old is she then?
She's 14.
Okay, and I'm 17.
No, you're not.
Why not?
Because I know you're 34. You can play this semantic game all you want and think that you're the smartest guy in the world and think you've figured all this out. But you're outdone here, brother.
I don't think I'm the smartest guy in the world.
Well, you
I
act
just
like it.
I just want no. I'm not trying to fight with you. I just want you to
I'm not trying to fight
see.
with you. I'm just trying to get to the truth here.
I
and
just
think
want you
you're
to
bullshitting
see me. I want you to see me.
Okay.
I don't want you to think I'm bullshitting you. I don't want you to think I'm trying to fight you. I'm not supposed to talk to you. I just want you to see me.
Okay.
I'm a person.
Right.
I go to work.
What do you do for a living?
I drive a truck.
You drive a truck. What kind of truck?
Just like a normal box truck, like
Okay.
sodas or whatever.
For a company?
Yeah,
So soda pop truck.
sure. You know, I might have people in my house I live with. I might not. I don't want to talk about it. But there's people in my life I care about, and that care about me. And what I do with women is I play a game, a fantasy. That fantasy is master and slave. I never once said on there, hey, you're so 14, that makes you hot. Never said that. Master and slave is the game we were playing. Sure, it's a stupid thing to let somebody else's fantasy interrupt my fantasy. I can't blame myself for that. But that's not what I was looking for. I didn't look for this girl for a 14-year-old, for however old she is. I was just looking for a girl that would play.
How old are the other girls who played with you?
At least 30.
At least 30.
19
19.
that I could think of.
But 19 is the youngest as far as you're aware
Yes.
that engaged in this master-slave stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think would have happened, Christian, had this 14-year-old girl actually gotten into the Uber and traveled more than an hour away to your apartment? What would have happened? What would you have done to her?
Well, I would have gotten the proof I needed of her age.
You were going to ask for her ID.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, maybe school ID if she's in high school. If she's younger than that.
And if she was 14, you were good with it?
I don't know. I might have sent her home.
Might have sent her home.
Yeah.
Or you might have gone through with your whole master-slave thing.
We might have played in the street for a little bit, but I would have eventually sent her home.
What was in the backpack you had when you got arrested?
I had my game.
Your
I had
game?
my collar.
Your collar?
A bunch of other things.
Sex toys?
I had a sex toy in there.
Astroglide?
Astroglide. I had condoms.
Condoms. What were you going to do with all that stuff yesterday?
I actually carry those things with me
All the time?
all the time.
So you walk around with a backpack that has a sex toy, a dildo, Astroglide, condoms, and a dog collar. You carry this with you at all times,
I do.
just in case you come across a slave?
Maybe.
And how often do you come across a slave?
At least once.
At least once in your lifetime, or once a week, or once
At least once in my lifetime.
you just happened into somebody? And you say, oh, well, I've got all this gear right with me. Let's get down to business.
Well, yeah, this is what I'm trying to explain to you. I'm not trying to be the smartest man in the world. I'm trying to show you that I'm a person. I go out into the world. I talk to people. I flirt. You know? This one person that says they're 14, I probably should have let them go.
Yeah.
But sometimes when you're playing the game, you just want to keep playing. And it has nothing to do with her age. It's just a game.
Do you think it's an addiction? Or would you say it's a fantasy?
I've been told both.
Do you think you're addicted to the game?
I think so.
So what do you do from here?
I don't have medical. I don't have anything. Like I told you, I go to work. I can't get insurance. I don't have a car. I can barely pay my rent. I struggle. And the other time I got arrested, is nonsense. Because I would never have hurt anyone.
Right. Your criminal history is for shoplifting at Target, right?
That's right.
How many times you get popped?
I got 3 charges for 1 day.
What did you steal from Target?
Food, diapers, baby toys, stuff like that, like household goods. I struggle hard all the time. All the time. And nobody sees me. So when I'm playing, especially online, especially with girls that I don't know and don't see, when they can pretend to see me, that's the game. That's the point of the game. That's what brings me in and keeps me hooked.
You have a child?
I do.
How old?
2.
2. Just one child?
Mm-hmm.
Is that child with your girlfriend with whom you live?
Mm-hmm.
What did you tell your girlfriend about all this?
I haven't been able to tell anyone because I was beaten in front of my apartment and she didn't even know because my child was sleeping. Because they took my phone and I couldn't even breathe because they had beaten me so badly in front of my apartment and in the grass. For what? I never laid a hand on anyone. But because I might have? Because somebody else thought that was... They said they were 14, but nobody showed me any 14 or high school ID.
So what do you do now?
What do? I have to stay. I have to keep fighting. I have a 2-year-old. That's all I have to do. I have to go and get an attorney. I have to get home somehow from here without... I don't know where my phone is.
Got it.
To call an Uber. I don't have friends to come pick me up. I don't have family. They live in New Jersey.
Is that where you're from, New Jersey?
I'm from New York.
New York.
Yeah.
And what brought you down to Louisiana?
At first it was my daughter. We wanted to move away from my family because we didn't get along.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was... I don't know if I should say it. Let's just say it was a business opportunity. You know what? It was the NOPD. I would join the NOPD.
The New Orleans Police Department.
That's right, to be a cop.
You were going to be a cop?
I was going to be a cop. And I was doing well. I passed all my tests. I was running, I was doing push-ups, everything well. I was learning properly.
And then what happened?
And then I couldn't buy food for my daughter. I couldn't buy her diapers. So I stole from Target. And you know what they told me? Too bad. See you next time, buddy.
So you were on the list to become a New Orleans police officer.
That's right.
And what derailed you from that was shoplifting at Target.
That's right. Because I don't have friends or family out here. I'm alone. And then afterwards, everyone says, oh, I would have given you money. Like that means anything. No, what means something is when I'm in danger, when I'm in trouble, I need your help now. I need you to tell me now that you're going to help me.
How far did you get in the process of becoming a New Orleans police officer?
I was probably 3 months away.
3 months away.
Probably. I don't know exactly, but probably.
So you were in the academy.
That's right. And I'm telling you, I was doing well. I went in there probably 300 pounds and left like 270. Maybe less. I was doing really well. And I couldn't afford to feed my family.
And there was no other way to do this except for steal from Target?
Yes, there is another way to do it. Food stamps, which I was denied, and then when my lady friend applied for food stamps, she needs something from me that I don't have. Some sort of letter that I don't know how to write. I'm completely lost on the process and nobody helps me. I asked them. I actually talked to them. The police that I was working for. And they said they don't know. And that I made a bad decision moving out here. I should move back to New York. And they were right. They're absolutely right. Because I don't belong out here. This is nonsense. This whole place is ridiculous. Nothing works. Nobody works. So I'm at work every day and everything closes at 4. So how the hell am I supposed to make money and also take care of my daughter, send her places, school, things like that? How am I supposed to do that? I don't have a car because they crashed it. I was hit from behind and then I got blamed for it. And now I got to go to court for that too.
Well, maybe if you spent less time with this master-slave thing online and more time trying to figure out your personal situation, you'd be better off. You ever think of that?
I am. I'm on top of my lawyer. I'm on top of work. This is what? One day, a couple of texts throughout the day while I'm driving a truck that you think it's my entire day, it's everything that I do. I told you to look at me. I'm a human. I'm working hard at getting my things done. And I'm not. I am.
Okay.
I am.
Well, Christian, I appreciate you giving me some insight into all this. Is there anything else you want folks to know about your situation?
No, I guess not.
Okay. Well, listen, I appreciate you talking to me. I'm Chris Hansen.
And I know who you are. I really actually like you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
I watch a lot of your shows. Not you exactly, but
Right.
like people that review you.
Right.
And
Which ones have you seen?
obviously To Catch a Predator.
Right. Have you seen the new ones, Takedown?
No, I haven't.
Yeah. This is for one of those.
Because I'm so busy working now
Got it.
that I don't get to watch the things I want to watch anymore.
All right. Well, I appreciate your support. I appreciate you talking to me.
Mhm.
I know it's a difficult situation in which to meet me, and I don't make light of that.
Mhm.
But I appreciate your insight, and I appreciate you telling me your story.
I would love some help if you can find a way to bring some to me.
These are good guys here. I know that you got off to a rough start with another department, but you're in different hands here, and they're just interested in, seeing that you are fairly treated. Okay.
Thank you, Chris Hansen.
All right. Well, thank you.
I do actually really like you though.
I appreciate that.
Can I get up and leave?
Yeah,
or-
yeah. They'll take you from here. All right, brother. You take care of yourself, okay?
I've seen a lot of things, and you've watched me see a lot of things over the years, but I've never seen anything like that.
After my interview, Captain Bowden and I go through the master's belongings, his backpack. What we find is evidence of a violent sexual predator.
So this is backpack.
All right, this is Master's backpack. There's the collar.
Jeez.
That's the collar that he bought for the 14-year-old girl he was chatting online with to wear during their encounter.
I'm afraid to ask what's in there.
Yeah. So it's a game station.
It's a sex toy.
Sex toy dildo with a 14-year-old.
Yeah.
Bringing that for a 14-year-old. Climax delay condoms. Wow. Astroglide personal lubricant.
Mm-hmm.
For a 14-year-old. Unreal. The hell is that?
Tube top, I guess, yeah.
If that's a tube top, that's for a young kid.
Yeah.
Very young kid. And he said his kid's 2-year-old. That's not a 2-year-old's clothes. Wow. Looks to be it.
And what was the date on the receipt for the, is that the receipt for the sex toy?
Yeah, it's 12/26.
12/26, so he's had that
for a month.
Yeah. Mm-mm. What does that say to you, Captain?
It's very disturbing. First of all, he says he was involved in going through a police academy to be in law enforcement, and then he's doing these kinds of things, seeking out a 14-year-old girl.
And then he blames everybody else.
Yeah, it's not his problem. It's everybody else's.
Mm.
It's a scary, scary world.
I guess that's why you all do these investigations.
That's a fact. We want to make our kids safe.
All right.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'll say. Jeez, you can't make that up.
No. Okay.
Christian is being charged with indecent behavior with a juvenile and computer-aided solicitation of a minor. We'll keep you posted on the case against him. The master, Christian, sent multiple cars to pick up an underage girl to make her his slave. But thankfully, it wasn't a real 14-year-old on the other end of the chats. Sheriff Jason Ard and I shudder to think what could have possibly been.
What do you suppose would have happened had there really been a 14-year-old girl and she got into that Uber and made that hour-long plus trip to New Orleans to be with this fellow at his apartment?
We'd be looking for a missing 14-year-old, and probably in a few weeks we'd be working a homicide, without a doubt. That's what scares me. I mean, this is so eye-opening to what's actually going on in the real world.
He told me when I interviewed him, that's just fantasy. He's just misunderstood. This is the way he relieves his stress. You buy that?
No, this guy has a serious issue with what he has. He is not right, somehow or other, to want to do the things you want to do to a 14-year-old. Now, you don't fantasize about a 14-year-old girl. You don't fantasize about a 14-year-old boy. If you do, something is wrong with you, okay? And you don't need to be in the public. In my book, you're just breathing in fresh air that you don't need to be breathing in, okay? You're a waste of fresh air is what you are.
WatchTruBlu.com is home to the full library of Takedown with Chris Hansen true crime documentaries and exclusive investigations. And to hear more about the men I've caught in my 21 years of predator investigations, listen to my podcast, Predators I've Caught. You'll hear my thoughts on the men I've interviewed, what happened after the camera stopped rolling, and their sentences. Predators I've Caught, available wherever you get your podcasts.